before we get into this week's video, I just want to quickly share with you guys how the whole idea of throwback upcycles came about. So a while back, my mom calls. This is how the conversation goes. Ayana, I need you to send me either a scanned or really good snapshot of photos of your dad and I from our wedding day. This is me. Woman, are you serious? Is this important? And do you need it now? Yes, I'm working on a slideshow and I want these photos to be in it. 2 phone calls later, I am now sending the woman her photos. Like, after sending her these photos, I get the driest thank you could possibly think of. And sometimes people just want to know why I so sarcastic. Like, I get that from my mom. Yeah. The sarcasm runs deep from my mom. But yeah, after sending her photos, I decided to continue going through the album, and that was when I saw some really cute outfits that my mom had me in when I was a baby. And when I saw these photos, I was like, oh my gosh, I need to recreate these pieces through upcycling, and I think I'm gonna put my own little spin on it while creating it. And there were also 1 or 2 photos of my mom as well in her 20s and her 30s that also spoke to me. They were like, Ayana, this is you. So that was how throwback upcycles came about. So I'm really excited to dive into these upcycles and actually give you guys a couple of videos over the next couple of weeks dedicated just to throwback photos and throwback outfits that I wore when I was a kid. So I really hope these videos not only give you guys tips and tricks on how to upcycle certain pieces, but also inspire you guys to take a look at your photos from when you were a child. And I'm pretty sure you're gonna see 1 or 2 outfits that you're gonna want to recreate, either exactly how they were or with your new whole spin on it. So without any further ado, let's get into this new throwback upcycle. So the first thing I'm gonna work with is the pants, because it is the quickest piece out of everything. I am going to fold it, exposing the side that has the mark, so I would know where to cut. So I'm able, you may not be able to see the line, but I am seeing my line right here. So I am going to cut. This is my shorts, and what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to create a fold on this jeans. So I don't just want to leave it shredded at the ends. I actually want to give it a nice fold, like a double fold. So that's why I marked it high. Right. So normally what I would do is I'd go to my machine and I would run a stitch. But because I want to show you guys that you don't need to sew to create upcycled pieces, I'm not going to sew this. What I am going to do is use my glue, right? So I'm going to use this glue right here, and I am going to stick my hems down. Now, if you have or you feel there's a stronger glue than this, please feel free to go ahead and use that glue, but I am comfortable using this glue because I've used it before on some pieces. So just in case you can't find, because that other glue that is really good is super expensive over here. Okay, so I have created my fold, and I have placed my glue, and I'm going to do that throughout for the shorts hem. Okay, so now I'm going to move on to the top. Now for the top, I'm using this white round neck t-shirt. As you saw on my sketch, it is a sort of tube top, a very loose tube top, and I'm going to use elastic for the top and the bottom to give it that kind of poof effect. And I'm also going to have two sleeves attached to the top, so it could be on my arms resting, right? So it's gonna act like if it's an off-shoulder top. Now for this, I am actually only going to use probably from under the arm down to the end. So I'm not going to use this upper area of the top. So what I want to do to ensure that I am cutting a straight enough line, I'm just going to use my ruler, and I am going to draw a line from armpit to armpit. Now that I have that done, I'm just going to make my first cut. I don't know why I just said I'm going to. Okay. So I'm going to use this part of the top. Now what I'm going to do here is, let me fold it inside out for this part. I am actually going to create the casing that the elastic is going to pass through. Now I'm going to use this elastic. So what I'm doing is taking the piece of elastic and I am putting it around my upper bust area where I want the top to rest, and I am pulling it to make sure that it is snug, not squeezing tight, snug. Right, so I'm making sure that it has a snug fit, and once I'm comfortable with that fit, I am just going to make my snip. Okay. So this piece is the piece that I'm going to use around my bust area. When it's stretched, it gives the size that the elastic needs to be, which is good, right? So this is going to be my upper area. Now remember I said I'm going to use elastic for the bottom part of the top as well to create that nice poof effect that I'm looking for. So with the remainder of the elastic, I am going to put it around my high waist area. So I'm going to actually make it pull around my navel area there. So I'm just going to pull my elastic to get that snug fit again, not tight, but snug. Snug meaning comfortable, right? So I'm going to get that nice snug fit, and once I have it, I'm going to snip away the excess elastic, which is not much, and that's it. So this piece is going to be for my high waist area, and and it's gonna stretch to fit over whichever areas. So this is for my bottom, and this piece is for my top. Look, now you're gonna do the same thing you normally do when you're creating that casing if you're running a stitch through it. So what I'm going to do is I am going to fold my top. So this is it, fold here. I turned it inside out, turn it this way. So this is the top. I gave it a nice fold that I have my fold, what I'm going to do is take my glue again, and at the edge of my t-shirt fold, right, I'm doing this at the edge, I am simply applying glue so that it will stick. I'm using this piece of cardboard to ensure that the glue doesn't go on my ruler. So what I'm doing here is securing the casing. So I'm just going to do that, go all the way around. Right. Make sure you stick that pretty well. Make sure you add that glue and stick that down pretty well, because you don't want it coming apart on sticking or anything like that while you have it on and exposing the elastic. Now, when you are sticking your elastic casing together, remember to leave a spacing so that you can pass the elastic through. Once you have successfully passed your elastic through, seal it off, seal off that opening that you left shut. Okay, so now that you have created your casing and you have left your opening, so find that opening and take a safety pin and your elastic that you measured off for your upper bust, and let's filter or pass that elastic through the casing. Make sure and put ample amount of glue on both sides as well. That's how I keep it in place when I have to stick it. Now, before you let this go through your casing, please let the elastic dry together, stick strongly together. So right now where it is here, it is a bit, it's still slippy slidey because of the glue. So what you want to do is leave this for a while. I am simply putting one of my craft clips, so my sewing clips, I'm actually putting one of my clips over it so that it gives it a force over it, which is going to help it. So what I'm going to do for now is I'm going to just rest that aside a bit, and what I'm going to do is work on the bottom of the top, and the process is going to be the same. Okay, so the glue has dried on the elastic properly and I sealed off the elastic casing. So the next step is to take this white tube top that I created and kind of give it a resemblance to the top that I'm wearing in this picture. So what I did was I stretched the top over my cutting board because I wanted the elastic to be stretched out for when I have to paint my colors. What I also did was place tape onto the t-shirt so that I can get these sections and paint within them. So that's what I'm going to do right now. I have my two colors here, right? I have my paints ready, my paint brushes I should say, and I'm going to start with my red first. Now use my blue color in this strip, and I'm just going to continue to alternate. So I'm going to get that done, and I'm going to come back and show you guys how it looks. So for the shoes, I had to do a lot of brainstorming. Now the first thing I tried to do was create patches out of the scrap t-shirt pieces. But what happened was when I stuck them and I painted it to try to blend it, the red here was looking way darker than the shoes, so it was looking really off. So I found these letters and I just decided, you know what, a measure design. So I'm gonna use some glue and I'm going to strategically place A here to hide the hole on that side, and D here to hide the hole on that side, which will then give me a D. It looks unusual, but I like that. I like that unusual look. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm just going to apply some glue to the back of the letters, and I'm going to stick them down. Woohoo!